Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Avery. I'm 24 years old and I make videos about personal finance and budgeting. So if that's something that interests you, feel free to subscribe. In today's video, I will be going over my May and June monthly budget recap, specifically how much money I earned, how much money I spent, and anything of note for these months. This is mostly going to focus on the month of June since that month just ended. I just thought it would be a good idea to bring in the month of May as well since I had to skip that video last month. So let's go ahead and go into it. I'm using the budgeting software YNAB or YNAB Budget. I'll have a link down below to a free trial if you want to use it, but I really like this budgeting software. I've been using it since August of last year, so it's almost been a whole year since I started using the software, and I'm starting to really see the benefits of using it long term. All that to be said, let's go ahead and take a look at my income for the month of May. I made a total of $3,564.27. If you've watched my videos, you know that I was working at a restaurant and I've since decided to quit that job. And you can see if you look at the month of May, I made over $500 there. The month of June, I got my last paycheck and it was $186. So so over $3,500 for the month of May. It was a pretty good month. I did work at the bakery quite a bit to make $641. And then I worked my full-time job, which brings in about $2,416.50 if it's a 2-paycheck month. So if we look at the month of June, it was a 3-paycheck month. So I got $3,752.50 from my full-time job. I also worked some overtime at that job. I got money from a gift for my birthday, and then I got money from the restaurant, and I also worked at the bakery a little bit. So that's why we see $4,349.60 for my income in June. And honestly, thank God it was a 3-paycheck month for me because I ended up having a lot of expenses in the month of June, which we'll see when I break down my spending by category. As far as just things to note here, the gift is a weird amount because I had got sent the money on Venmo, but then the next day I went to a market and I ended up spending money just out of my Venmo account because I had not transferred the money yet. So when I finally transferred the money, it was $87. And then I have my interest as well from my savings accounts going in here. So June seemed to be a better month in interest for that. But yeah, let's go ahead and go into my spending by category. So just quickly, let me zoom out. Quickly, I'm going to just touch on May just to see if there's anything of note there since I didn't do that video. I spent a total of $2,355.22 in the month of May. This is a pretty standard amount to spend for me. Housing is usually my biggest expense. Transportation looks like it was higher, probably because of gas prices. Gas prices have been very expensive. I end up buying a pack, like a bag to wear when I ride my bike. So that's where we see the $68. And then my auto maintenance. What did I spend money on? I guess it won't let me look. See, I don't remember since it was May. But I'm sure if I look through my reports, I'd be able to find it. All in all, a pretty standard month for me. Investments. So, good example. I mentioned in my net worth video that I'm starting to round up my investments and just get as much money into my Roth IRA specifically as I can. So, I put in a $150 monthly recurring investment, and then I was able to get $55.64 in additional investments into that account during the month of May. So, excited about that. But let's go ahead and go into June. So for the month of June, as you can tell, was $3,265.90 in total spending. It was a very, very, very expensive month. And you can also notice that housing was not my largest expense either. It was my sinking funds. So let's go ahead and go into it. Let's check housing first. Straightforward, I spent $833 on rent and water. I spent $950 on laundry. I spent $30.18 on my household expenses. So rent and water, that is the last time I'll spend $833. In July, my rent has gone up since my lease restarted. And then laundry, very low spending on laundry because my boyfriend moved into a different unit that has in-unit laundry. So he doesn't pay anything for that. So I've been taking my laundry over there when I can to save money on that. And then household expenses, this is like cleaning supplies, things like that. My food, I had a very expensive month food-wise. My groceries was $201.68. My dining out, I normally budget $125 for this. I spent $250. The biggest thing about this is that my electric went out at my apartment for a week, and I did not get to be at my apartment at that time because it was also the hottest week of the year. It was over 100 degrees every single day, and I obviously was not going to stay there when it was that hot with no AC and no electric. So I ended up taking all of my food over to my boyfriend's house. However, I was at that point, I was just not in the mood to cook. I really am not the kind of person that likes to lose track of their routine, or that I just have like a very set way of doing things, and when things throw me off, I find it hard to just like go with the flow, if that makes sense. So that means I spent a lot of money dining out, and now I'm trying to reel it in for the month of July. So let's hope it goes okay. For fun, I spent a lot of money on fun. This might be easier if I go to my regular reports. I'm currently using the toolkit. Let's go to regular reports. I think it should be able to show if I do my June expenses on here. When I click on them, it should be able to tell me like what I actually spent. So all categories. I don't want to look just at investments. Yeah, so slightly different, but should give us the same information. Let me zoom out. I still spent $32.65. So we looked at food. Let's look at fun. Fun money. Here we go. I spent a lot of money on books. Bought a lot of books. I need to read the books, and I need to read the books I own. So hopefully I do that and I stop buying books. And I also bought some stationery. I just bought some, what's it called? I bought some notebooks. Yeah, so you literally see it's bookstore, bookshop, bookstore, book loft, all of these things. And I also put ice cream in here. So I thought about making a separate book category, but honestly, I just like don't care to do that. I've watched The Budget Mom before, and she says that she only makes separate categories for things when she wants to analyze that spending. And I'm not particularly interested in analyzing the spending. I put it in fun money. If I want to spend my fun money on books, I do it, or it just goes into the categories of fun, basically. So I spent money on books. And the Avery Improvement Fund, I bought flowers. And then I did something on Venmo. And, I know what I did. I went to some art markets, like some art walks, I guess is what it's called in my city. And I ended up buying some decorations or just art for my apartment. So that's where that's coming from, the $45 and the $29. And then short trips. This is kind of a catch-all. Like if I have any sort of like short events coming in, honestly, maybe I should recategorize these as dining out, but I probably won't go back and do that because technically it's all dining out. But at the time in June, I was going on a few short trips. Like I went to Pittsburgh and I went to Cleveland. So I ended up having a separate category to track that spending and to just make sure I stayed on track for it. If we go back, let's look at investments. Same thing. I put $150 in, and it looks like I was able to find an extra $36.50 for my investment account. And when I do my mid-year like financial check-in for my 2022 financial goals, we can look in depth on how well I'm doing with my Roth IRA. For utilities, I spent $38.74 on gas. Gas went down since it's obviously warmer out. I'm not using the gas except for cooking. And yes. So then my phone is static at $37.10. My electric was a flat $27. I thought that was interesting. It's going up because of the weather. I was like, it's going up because the electric, the AC, I've been using it more, obviously, since it's been hotter out. And the internet is $55. I have Spectrum, and I'm starting to wonder if like this amount, the cost of this is going to go up, just because I know they like to do promotional periods. I hope not. I don't want to. It's $55 for not even like amazing internet. It's just standard internet in this like city. So it'd be kind of I'd be a bit of a bummer if it did. So far so good on that. My focus on now category, I spent $136.62, and it's because I got shoes. I bought some running shoes because I needed some running / workout shoes. I bought shampoo, conditioner, and some lotion. I bought some hair gel. And then if we go to transportation, I spent money on the bus. I spent money on parking, and I went to get gas. Okay. Yeah. I was like, how does this add up? So I got gas twice in the month. It looks like it was $56 and $58. I ended up getting some money from my sister to help cover the cost of some of the gas. And then I did some parking, various things. I figured out an option for my job where I don't have to pay $10 a day for parking, and I don't have to take the bus either. Not that I have anything against the bus, but it does also cost money, but it's kind of a logistics nightmare in the sense that I go in at 7:30 every day and I get off at 4. Going in is fine. When I take the bus in the morning, I get on at like 6:59, so like 7 o'clock. I take the bus down and then I walk 10 minutes and then I'm at my office. When it's the coming back, that sucks because it takes about 10 minutes to walk to the bus stop. And then since it's 4 p.m., I'm just in the worst traffic usually, and it just takes forever to get home. And then the bus is less reliable at that time. Like in the morning, the bus always comes at like 6:59. Like it doesn't come earlier than that. But in the afternoon, I'll get to the bus stop, and even though it should come at 4:15, it will say like, oh, the bus has already gone by. It's going to come at like 4:30 now. And I find that very frustrating, honestly, because by the time I get home, it's anywhere from like 4:45 to 5 o'clock. So I actually found a side street I can park on that is close enough to my office that I can still walk over and I don't have to pay money. And that should work for now, at least for the summer months. In the autumn, we'll see how it goes. So that's exciting. Hopefully between that and the cost of gas going down slightly. Where I buy gas, I buy it in my hometown. It's currently about $4.45. So definitely down from, how much did I pay? I think I paid either $4.99 or maybe I even paid over $5 at one point. I know it could be worse, but that was very, very expensive for me. Transportation, we already looked at. Let's look at health and fitness. I had $86.43 in medical expenses come out. I bought some supplies, and I bought some on Amazon. I bought some on Walmart just for some chronic health conditions. And then for therapy, I spent $30. That's the cost of one copay, so one visit. And for July, I'm anticipating that I'm going to go twice. So, spoiler alert, it might be $60. Yes. And then as far as like subscriptions go, most boring part of like this, like a video every time, it's $11.73. It's just Apple and Spotify. Finally, let's take a look at my sinking funds, because I spent almost $1,000 from my sinking funds. And specifically, I spent $125 on a haircut, so it's the cost of a haircut and a tip. I spent $28.62 on gifts. I bought dinner for my boyfriend, and I bought food for my mom and sister. And then vacation, I spent $820.73. So I almost spent the cost of my rent on vacation expenses. Specifically, I ended up purchasing the plane tickets and the hotel reservation for my New York City trip. I'm going to New York City at the end of August. I'm going, my boyfriend's going, and my brother is also going with us. And so we needed three tickets, and we needed a hotel room that would fit 3 adults. So the plane tickets were a total of $891.60, and then the hotel stay is over $1,500 for 3 of us to stay 5 nights in New York City. And we are staying in New York City. We're not staying in New Jersey. We're not staying in Brooklyn. We're staying in I think it's Lower Manhattan. We're staying in Manhattan. I don't know the geography perfectly, but we're gonna be a 10-minute walk from Central Park. So obviously we're paying for the location, which I'm personally fine with. I think you're going to pay, if you're going to New York, you're going to pay for it either way. Either going to pay for it with your money or you're going to pay for it with your time. So we decided to pay for it with our money. So instead of having to travel from New Jersey every day, and which is fine if you want to do that, but it's just not something we wanted to do. We wanted to stay close to Central Park and just really wanted to make the most of going to New York. I've personally never been. And I actually ended up booking all of this through Amex Travel with my Amex card, simply because I had been putting this off, trying to get the logistics together on this trip, simply because I was I don't know how I'm gonna have to find plane tickets and a hotel, but on Amex it just gave the option to do both together, so I ended up doing that. So we're flying out on a Tuesday and we're coming back on a Sunday. And I have currently Tuesday through Sunday off, but I'm probably going to take that Monday right before I leave off. And then the Monday after I have off is Labor Day, so I'll have that off either way. All that to be said, I spent over I can't do this math. 5731 plus 891. What is that? $2,400? I spent over $2,400 buying the 3 plane tickets on our hotel stay. And then, of course, my boyfriend and my brother paid me back. So that's why we see the Venmo and Cash App. I got to fix the pays on that later, to $821 each. So they both sent me $821. So per person, the travel and the lodging is $821. And after we get there and try to travel around, I'm sure traveling will be slightly higher, or transportation at least. But yeah, I probably won't do some in-depth analysis about that. But that is how I spent over $3,000 in this month. And if I hadn't have had a 3 paycheck month in the month of June, I definitely would have had a negative outflow in my budget. But as you can see, if I go back to toolkit reports, if I go down to income versus expense, and I scroll down, you can see for the month of June, I had a positive net income of $1,083.70. So that's pretty great, all things considered. But yeah, so that is my June budget recap. Once I post this video, I'm going to get started on my mid-year financial check-in, and once that is done, I'll have a video about my July paychecks. So yes, thank you all for watching. Tell me how the month of June went for you. I do want to know. I find it very curious. Did you go on vacation? Everyone in my office is going on vacation right now. I'm doing a later vacation because my boyfriend's knee injury / his knee surgery. I think I mentioned this in our videos, but he's been recovering from that. So we wanted to make sure he was able to actually fully enjoy a vacation, which is also why we're not doing something out west. Last year we went to Denver, Colorado, and we visited some friends of his. That was really nice. And I would love to do a vacation next year, a road trip specifically, to travel to all of the different, not all of them, because that's not possible in that amount of time, but to travel to as many national parks that we can, while also not rushing it. So being able to enjoy the experience. So I'm looking forward to that. But as of now, we decided to do a city vacation this year. So that should be something different. Yes, thank you all for watching. Tell me if you've gone on vacation. What did you do? What did you like it? How much did you spend? And I will see you all in the next one. Bye now.